Every 3 minutes, someone in America is diagnosed with colon cancer. It's the second leading cause of cancer death in the United States. Most of those people had no symptoms, no pain, no warning, nothing, until it was too late. It starts with something that sounds almost harmless, a polyp, a tiny growth on the inner lining of your colon. Most people who have them don't know. Most never cause a single symptom. But inside that small, silent cluster of cells, something is happening at the DNA level. And if nobody finds it in time, that polyp can kill you. Here's exactly how it happens. The cells lining your colon divide constantly, replacing old cells with new ones. But sometimes the DNA inside those cells mutates. The instructions get corrupted, and instead of dividing at a normal, controlled rate, those cells start dividing faster, faster, faster. A polyp forms. At first, it's benign, harmless, just extra tissue. But if more mutations stack on top of the first ones, the cells begin behaving abnormally. They stop following rules. They stop responding to signals that say, stop growing. Eventually, they break through the colon lining entirely. And now they're cancer. Here's the fact that changes everything. That entire transformation, from the very first mutation to full cancer, can take up to 10 years, which means there is an enormous window, a decade-long window, where a doctor could find that polyp and remove it before it ever becomes dangerous. But only if you show up for the screening. So what actually happens during a colonoscopy? A flexible camera is guided through your entire colon, roughly 5 feet of it. The doctor is looking for anything abnormal. Tissue that looks irregular, areas that don't lie flat, polyps, small or large. When one is found, it's removed right there in real time. A wire loop or small tool snares it. Done. The whole thing takes 30 to 60 minutes. You're sedated, you feel nothing. But the story doesn't end when you wake up. Every polyp that is removed gets sent to a pathology lab. A pathologist examines it under a microscope, looking at the cell structure, looking for how abnormal the cells have become, looking for signs of what this polyp was becoming. Because here's what most people don't realize. Not all polyps are the same. If the polyp is benign and no others were found, you may not need another colonoscopy for 10 years. If precancerous changes are present, your doctor may recommend a repeat exam in 3 to 5 years. If cancer cells are actually detected, additional testing begins immediately to determine how far the disease has spread. One procedure, one lab report. Completely different futures, depending on what that microscope reveals, because this is the part people always get wrong. People avoid colonoscopies because of the prep. The day before, you drink a solution that clears your entire colon. And yes, it is not a comfortable day. But you know what's less comfortable? Stage 4, colon cancer, chemotherapy, a colostomy bag, a funeral at 58. The prep is one bad afternoon. The alternative, if you skip the screening, can be the rest of your life. Screening guidelines say to start at age 45 for average risk individuals. Earlier, if colon cancer runs in your family. And this is critical, because once colon cancer is caught at stage 1, the 5-year survival rate is over 90%. Caught at stage 4, that number drops to 13%. Same cancer, completely different outcome. The only variable was a camera finding it before it spread. Your colon has been quietly doing its job your entire life. 10 hours of processing, miles of movement, decades of cell division, with the occasional mutation building quietly in the background. All it takes is one screening, one look, to find the thing growing in the dark. If this video made you think of someone who's been putting off their colonoscopy, send it to them right now, not later, now. And if you want to keep learning the biology behind the diseases nobody talks about clearly, subscribe, because we go where most medical content won't. And your life, or someone you love's life, might depend on what you learn here.